Flames surrounded everything. There was no way out. People were running in panic, trying to escape. In the middle of all this chaos, Kevin was desperately trying to drive a bus full of children away from the fire. But the question is, will he be able to save them? Let's go back to the beginning of the story to find out. It all starts in November 2018. We meet Kevin, the main character of the story. He works as a school bus driver. Just like every other day, his life seemed ordinary and repetitive. His job didn't pay much, and it was getting harder for him to manage daily expenses. At home, he lived with his mother and his young son, who often refused to listen to him. Kevin would ask him to go to school, but his son ignored him every time. Kevin didn't know how to handle him anymore. He also had a pet dog, but unfortunately, the dog had fallen sick. Kevin took him to the animal hospital, hoping he would recover soon. He sighed and thought to himself that when problems come, they come from all directions. Still, despite everything, he didn't give up. The next morning, Kevin went back to work as usual. He picked up the school children, made them sit in the bus, and drove them to school safely. The story takes place in a city called Paradise, located in California. The weather there was usually hot and dry. On the nearby mountains, electric poles stood tall, and one of the wires suddenly short-circuited. Sparks flew from it and landed on the dry grass below. Since the grass was completely dry, it quickly caught fire. The fire spread rapidly toward the forest that surrounded Paradise City. People living in the city had no idea that a disaster was heading their way. After dropping off the children, Kevin was supposed to take his bus to the garage for maintenance. Meanwhile, the fire had already spread deep into the forest. Some police officers spotted the smoke and immediately called the fire brigade. The fire department arrived soon, but they realized that the fire had started high up on the mountain, making it very hard to reach. Still, they didn't give up and tried to approach it from another direction. However, some of the workers got trapped in the flames. At that time, Kevin was still unaware of the situation. He was driving his bus toward the garage when his mother called. She told him that his son was vomiting badly and needed to go to the hospital. Kevin assured her not to worry, saying he had the bus and would stop by the medical store to get some medicines. So instead of going to the garage, he drove straight to the pharmacy, focused only on saving his son. By now, thick smoke could be seen rising over the city. The wind had started blowing in their direction, which meant the fire was quickly moving toward them. The police gathered to discuss how it all began. Wildfires were not unusual in America, but this one was spreading much faster than normal. Usually, small fires are controlled in time, but this one was far beyond control. The officers discovered that the fire started near the power lines. When sparks fell, the strong wind kept the electricity running through the wires instead of cutting it off, which made things worse. Soon, workers from the electricity department arrived. The firefighters angrily confronted them, saying they should have shut down the power supply earlier. After the argument, the department finally cut off the electricity to prevent further accidents. Meanwhile, an FBI officer who was nearby radioed the fire department saying he was stuck in the fire zone. He also mentioned that several houses were burning and people needed help immediately. Without waiting, he began rescuing families on his own. The houses were located near the forest, so the danger was intense. He managed to put some people into his car and drove them to safety. The fire brigade soon realized that the blaze had been spreading for a long time, covering almost 5 kilometers of land. Smoke was filling the sky. Kevin's boss called him to ask if the bus repairs were done and told him to return quickly because the children would be dismissed early that day. But Kevin hadn't gone to the garage at all. He was on his way home with the medicines for his son. The fire trucks couldn't reach the mountain areas, so helicopters and planes were brought in to help. They filled their tanks with water and dropped it over the burning forest, hoping to stop the fire. But the flames were too powerful to control. The fire kept growing stronger, forcing them to call for even more air support. While the FBI officer was rescuing people and trying to drive out of the forest, the fire suddenly surrounded him from all sides.
He realizes that there's no way out anymore. The fire has surrounded them completely. Thinking quickly, he tells everyone to get into the pond so they can save themselves. Meanwhile, Kevin learns that the fire in the forest has grown worse, and the fire brigade vehicles are rushing in that direction. He calls his son and says, "I'll be there very soon. No matter what happens, don't leave the house." Thick smoke has already spread across the city. At school, all the children were watching the rising smoke from the windows. They too began to realize that there was a fire somewhere nearby. A teacher named Mary quickly gathered all the children and told them to sit quietly. Many parents rushed to the school to pick up their children, afraid that something terrible might happen. But several parents couldn't make it in time. There were still 22 children left inside the school. Kevin then gets a call from his wife. We learn that Kevin doesn't live with her anymore. She had also heard about the fire and grew worried for their son. She tells Kevin, "You don't have to go for our son. I'll take him from your house." Inside the school, one of the staff members announces on the radio, asking all the drivers whose buses are empty to come back to the school immediately and take the remaining children. But no one responds. Only Kevin does. He replies that he's on his way to the school and will rescue the children himself. Without wasting any time, Kevin drives his bus as fast as he can toward the school. His goal is to take all the children to a safe area in Chico. He soon reaches the school and gathers all 22 children into the bus. Mary tells him to drive straight to Chico, where the evacuation point is located. Kevin says, "I can't do this alone. Someone has to come with me." So Mary decides to go too, and sits in the bus with the children. As the bus starts moving, the children sit quietly in their seats, scared but trusting Kevin and Mary. Outside, the police and firefighters are struggling to control the flames, but the fire keeps growing stronger. On the highway, Kevin's bus suddenly gets stuck in a massive traffic jam. Everyone was trying to escape the city, and the roads were completely blocked. Time passed, and soon it was dark. Kevin realizes there's no way forward. He tells Mary to take his seat and says, "I'll try to clear the way. Slowly drive the bus backward." Mary does as he says. Kevin gets down and starts requesting people to move their cars, shouting, "Please, I have children with me. Let us pass." Some drivers move aside, and after great effort, Kevin manages to get the bus out of the jam. Finally, he drives further ahead, but the road is lined with burning houses. Mary looks out and says, "We shouldn't stay here. Let's keep moving." Kevin nods and drives deeper into the smoky darkness. Flames surround the bus from all sides, and the heat is unbearable. The children are terrified, but Mary keeps comforting them, trying to calm their fear. At the Chico campsite, tents have been set up for the injured and evacuated people. Every bus was supposed to bring children there, but Kevin's bus hadn't arrived yet. The parents waiting there were growing more anxious by the minute. Inside the bus, visibility was almost zero. Kevin kept driving blindly through the smoke. The children were sweating and begging for water, but there was none nearby. Kevin stops the bus at a spot where the fire seemed a little less intense. Mary says she'll look for water and runs toward a nearby house near a fuel station. She starts collecting water bottles, but suddenly there's a huge explosion at the station. Mary screams, but she survives and manages to bring the bottles back. The children finally drink water and calm down a bit. The fire keeps spreading further. Kevin drives again, unsure of where the road will lead. The darkness and smoke make it impossible to see ahead. At the camp, Kevin's boss tries to assure the worried parents, saying, "Don't panic. The bus is being driven by a good man named Kevin, and a teacher, Mary, is with them. They'll bring your children safely." As Kevin continues driving, he sees some people running on the road. They shout, "Don't go ahead. There's no way through. Leave the bus and run." But Kevin couldn't abandon the 22 children. He tells Mary to stay inside and goes ahead to check the road himself. When he looks around, he sees fire everywhere, in front, behind, and on both sides. There is no escape. He decides to stop the bus for a while until the flames calm down or the wind slows. The children begin to cry, and Mary tries to soothe them. Kevin then comes up with an idea. He says, "Tear my t-shirt into pieces, soak them in water, and cover the children's faces with them. It'll protect them from the smoke." Mary quickly does what he says. Meanwhile, the authorities realize the fire is uncontrollable. It has spread over a massive area. Neither helicopters nor fire trucks can put it out. The officials decide to focus entirely on saving lives. A senior fire officer tells the media, "Don't panic, we're doing everything we can to rescue the people and children trapped in the fire." Inside the bus, Kevin and Mary talk softly, sharing their fears and regrets. They both feel this might be their last night alive. But soon, the fire comes dangerously close. Kevin rushes out of the bus trying to put out the flames nearby, but the strong wind keeps fueling the fire. Realizing that no help is coming, he climbs back into the bus and says firmly, "We're going ahead, no matter what." At first, the bus doesn't start. Kevin keeps trying again and again until finally the engine roars to life. He drives the bus straight through the flames. It's a terrifying risk. If a burning tree fell or the bus caught fire, everyone would die. The windows and doors are shut tight, keeping out the smoke. With almost no visibility, Kevin keeps driving blindly, guided only by hope. After a long, tense struggle, he finally reaches an area untouched by the fire. The road clears and they escape the burning zone. Kevin then drives the bus straight to the Chico evacuation site. The parents waiting there were crying, fearing the worst. But as soon as they see the bus approaching, their faces light up. Their children are safe. Everyone rushes to the bus, hugging their kids tightly, tears of relief in their eyes. Mary and Kevin are praised and thanked for their courage. They risk their lives to save the children. Later, Kevin searches the camps for his family. He finds his mother first and asks anxiously, "Where is my son?" She smiles and says, "Your wife took him with her." Days later, after the fire has finally been extinguished, Kevin visits the remains of his burnt house. He looks sadly at the ashes and the old photographs of his family. The destruction is heartbreaking. Just then, a car arrives. Kevin turns and sees his wife and son stepping out. They run to him and hug him tightly. Both father and son are safe, and Kevin's wife realizes her mistakes. They decide to stay together again. The tragedy taught them the true meaning of family and how precious life is when shared with loved ones. And with that, the story of this film comes to an end.